Boom.
Boom, we are finally live. All right. So we got everybody. We got City Sticker Chris. We got my
I'm Chris.
mom. We got my dad in here. So we got a couple people in here. We're going to wait a little bit too to get some more people in
Yeah.
here, I hope.
Mom. There we are.
We got my dad in here. So we got a couple people here.
Hi,
Yeah, and
Mom and Dad.
yep, I could hear you.
What's up, Chris?
Let's ask them on the chat. Can everybody hear us in the chat and everybody see us properly? Everything's good. We had some technical difficulties because I haven't went
Good.
live on StreamYard in a while. So, I mean, it was on my end. So let me know, guys, if you could hear us, see us, all that good stuff.
Well, we're waiting.
Yeah, it says they're waiting, so I'm waiting for an answer for them. I'm gonna get on YouTube as well and see. Okay, good. My mom says good. She always leaves me hanging because I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see it going here. I had to turn my volume down, so I think we're good.
Yeah, yeah. If you put the volume down, it won't echo. Hey, H&S is in here. What's up, Hunting and Stuff? Thanks for coming in. You know what's funny too, Shawn and Dawn? Okay, it's all good. We're all good. Whenever I post it and we share it and stuff like that with people, it seems like YouTube it doesn't go out that much, but as soon as you go live, it seems like then it goes into a feed and we'll get people from that way. But I don't understand why like all the advertisement leading up to it never gets pushed out real well until you go live. It's weird. I think that's something YouTube needs to work on.
So how do I share it from here?
You can go down to there should be share right under it, or get out of the live chat, X out of the live chat, and it's hey Rays, and it should say share underneath of it somewhere.
Yep, got it.
Hit share, and then it'll say copy link, and then you can share it all over the world.
Sure, you tag me since I can't on the post.
All right. So, well, thank you guys for sticking with me here and during this that technical error that I had going on there. I should have told you guys to get on earlier and we could have did that before, but we're late. So what? Who cares? We're good.
Yep, late.
We're all here. Better late
Hey,
than never.
better late than never.
Yeah, you're right about that. So, I'm here with Shawn and Dawn from Jinx'Em Sents, everybody. It's an honor to have them here. I've been working with them for a while now, and they are some great people, great company. They have a lot of great products. So I'm going to let Shawn and Dawn just give a little intro to themselves, what they got going on in their with their business, and what their hot stuff is right now, or their scents and all that stuff, all their seasonings, scents. There's a bunch of stuff that they have out there, and I'm going to let them talk a little bit and get the show started with that. So go ahead, guys, take it away. Uh,
Putting the heat on us, huh?
yeah, I need to calm down. I need to calm down from that technical blunder there.
Technology's only great when it works.
That's right.
I know, I know.
Well, we're
Nice.
Shawn and Dawn from Jinx'Em Sents. We are celebrating our 10th. Actually, I think it's going to be like our 11th season, but 10th year, something like that. Kind of weird way.
Yeah.
So, just because it started so early, in the year, so we sell a little bit of everything that you would need for deer and deer hunting and feeding your deer and keeping them healthy. We've got deer feed, deer mineral,
Food plot
food
seed,
plot seed,
flavored mineral,
regular mineral,
deer scents, 100% and synthetic.
pre-orbital gland scent.
We have everything from urine to scent dabs to spliff sticks. We've got it in many forms.
Scent dispensers,
Scent management.
scent management spray,
We got seasonings, rubs,
barbecue sauce.
jerky kits, baking kits, brine kits, coffee. So everything from before, during, and after your hunt.
Well, that's pretty much what our goal was to get get hunters everything they need. We've got the mineral, the deer feed, food plot seed to keep them healthy, and then we roll into summer now. We got a lot of our guys that are already running their summertime mocks. Of course, we are too. So we got the urines and the pre-orbital gland scent for that, and you heard Don mention the dabs. Those are the water beads.
You also have the ropes too, right now.
Yep, we've got ropes.
That one right there.
Yep, yeah, there's one hanging right there on the wall behind us. So yeah, and then so that's it. We got all the scents and lures to bring them in. So you can harvest them, and then we've got all the yummy seasonings and rubs and brine kits and baking kits and
Everything to enjoy.
barbecue sauce, so you can enjoy that venison after the harvest. So,
From
and then we
field to
got
table.
coffee too, like I said. So that's pretty much us. Again, we're like in our 10th, starting our 10th season, and yeah, we started in 2015, and here we are, 2025. Been growing every year since. Yeah, that's about it. So
Awesome.
I
All
don't,
right.
I don't
Well,
know what else to tell you, Ted.
yeah, no, no. A lot of the
I
guys
could
are in
come
here.
up with something probably, but it'd just be,
No, well,
kind of
the title of our live stream tonight was talking food plots and more. So we're going to start off with the food plots. Obviously, the people that are in here right now know about your scents and things like that. I have a share link if anybody would want to go over to Jinx'Em. There's our YouTube channel right there. But I'm going to put up on here my code, and if you go over, you can save 10% off of the Jinx'Em Scents and all the. The only thing it doesn't work on is apparel, correct? It doesn't work on the apparel.
that,
because
and then
it's
anything that we're a dealer for.
mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, like
Cameras,
we're
arrows.
dealers for Wise Eye, we're dealers for Executioner broadheads, Warhead arrows. Those we don't. There's no discounts on those.
Yep.
But yeah, everything Jinx'Em. Yep, that's your code of work. I'm pretty much everything like you said, except for apparel.
Okay. Now, getting into the food plots, we'll dig into the scents a little bit later, towards the end. But I want to get into this food plot seed with you guys. Now, you guys sell a bunch of different food plot seeds out there, and
Yep.
I wanted to mention that I actually used, what was it, your X2, I believe.
The
I got
X20.
last year. The X20.
X20. Yep, clover alfalfa mix.
You have a couple different ones. I had the X20, and I also bought a clover blend off you that you didn't really sell the clover blend. You just helped me make it blend up with the clover for frost seeding.
Yeah, we have a tendency to do stuff like that for you. Mix you up your little
Yeah.
special blends.
Yep, and and we'll get to that later. I'm excited about that, but I don't want to say that. So but yeah, so I showed Shawn. I went down this weekend with my dad. My dad went down on Friday, and I went down Saturday, and we sprayed our plots. We're getting ready to plant here coming up. It's for that fall planting season. It's coming up right now, but I was a little weary about planting too early because it's been so hot out. You guys know, and you guys have been adding water to all your test plots constantly because of the drought. And I just didn't want to plant early. Normally we would want to plant like at the beginning of August, like right about now. But we're holding off a little bit till about the third week of August to try to be safe.
Yep.
So I'm going to be planting a special mix that we'll bring up later. But Shawn and Dawn, you guys have, your son has all your test plots, I believe, in Michigan right now, where he's
Yep.
doing all that stuff. So do you want to explain what you did with that and what you planted for the guy, for everybody in here? And
We
how you
actually,
did
it was, yep, it was actually pretty easy. The boy had worked it up already earlier in the spring, kind of I guess late spring, early summer there, and then just before we come in, I guess it was April when we planted, wasn't it? So it was right there. I guess first part of April he planted some corn and that down there, but he had already disced a little bit of it down there, and he kind of left us a spot to put in some food plot seed, and but I think that probably sat there for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks before we got back to Michigan to plant. And so he run over it real quick with the disc again, kind of broke it all up. And then on the first 4 plots that we planted were pretty much our spring stuff, not all of it. We did our seclusion, which is our, some people call it Egyptian wheat, but it's a sorghum. It gets like 10, 12 foot tall. Ours probably is, bed is probably pushing 12 foot anyways. And then we planted our X20, which you used there, Ted. And then we also planted a plot of our extreme perennial, which is the X20 with chicory added. So it's a alfalfa with 4 clovers and then chicory. So the X20 that you planted, that is an alfalfa in 4 different clovers. There's Alsic, Ladino, Crimson, and
You have it backwards. I think X20 is.
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
X20 is just alfalfa and clover.
Okay.
So yeah, and I can't remember what that other.
We had
Clover.
Ladino in my one mix because we got the X20 off of you, and then I also had a special mix with 3 different clovers, and I think it was crimson, ladino, and some kind of white clover.
Yeah, and it
Something
might
like
be a
that.
white clover too that we've got into ours too. That fourth clover.
Crimson.
Yeah, you got white, crimson, ladino.
There's so many different
else-
seeds out there; it's unreal.
There is, and there's a lot of different breeds of clover. There really is,
Yeah.
and but then the fourth plot that we planted, which is typically is a this time of the year plant, was our triple X woodland, and we planted them more just to show you folks what we got, what it does, what it looks like. So we didn't plant them with any idea of that they're actually going to be food plots for deer. These were literally sample plots that we wanted to grow so that we could show our customers what our seed blends do, what it looks like when it's growing, when it's matured. So we had that triple X woodland, and that is a mix of peas, radish, ryegrass, and clover in that. That did very well. So all four of those plots actually did very well. Some of you have seen. If you haven't, get over to Jinx'Em Sents to our Facebook page.
Yes,
There
I
are
was just
some.
going to mention that.
There's some videos over there showing off our sample plots there in Michigan, and then we just left there. What, like the 30th of July, we got back here to Iowa, but we planted a week before that. We planted our other four blends that we have, which is our turnips, our wildlife turnips, our double X woodland, our beets, and then our number one fall seller, which is rack exploder. We planted all four of those. Luckily, we actually worked that soil up, and now what we did different on this plot than what we did on the first plot. The first plot, the boy just worked that up. We broadcast the seed over top. Got rain right away. And then we come back. When I come back this time, we went in and threw a little urea on it and a little bit of a. That was pretty much it. Put some urea on it, and then we did spray it with. I'm not even going to be able to pronounce the name, anyways. Killed all the grass off that was growing up into our clover and our alfalfa.
Mm-hmm.
Clendium or something like that.
Chris will
So-
say it on here in a second. I'm sure he's on
Yeah.
here. Chris will say it.
Yep, I'm sure he'll know it.
Yeah. he'll know.
Ends with like a DIM.
Mhm.
Clethodem, I think is what the boy was calling it. And so yeah, that did really good. But
There
now
it is.
the second four that we did here while we were there here just a couple weeks ago, we worked that up again. He dished it real quick, and it didn't really have much growing back in it anyways. But he dished that up again real quick, and then we actually put fertilizer over top of it, and then dished that fertilizer right into the soil. And then we ended up, that was on a Saturday, and we planted that afternoon, just broadcast it, and then we took a coal packer, rolled over top of it after we threw the seed down, and we literally within just a couple hours after we got that seed in the ground, it rained good that night. We got 0.8 of an inch that night. That was Friday, wasn't it? Yes, it was Friday. Maybe it's Saturday.
I think it was Saturday.
It was okay. So it was been Monday. We come in, went through Saturday and Sunday, and Monday we come in and looked at it, and we were already getting germination. So just a couple days with that good rain that we got, we had germination starting. And when we left to head back here to Iowa, that everything was, it wasn't real tall, but it was up there probably an inch. Everything, and it was thick. So the beets a little bit slower on their germination, but they were coming up too. But like our wildlife turnips, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Probably went a little bit heavy on the wildlife turnips, and the boy said he may kind of weed a few out as we go, and just so they don't choke each other out. But honestly, like I said again, we planned them more to just show everybody what our seed is all about. It's good. We got just a fantastic, honestly, probably the number one Midwest seed dealer in the country that we get our seed through. So real good, great seed. Had great luck with it. Everything.
No fillers.
Yep,
100% seed.
100%
No inert
seed.
matter.
Yep, no inert matter, nothing. It's 100%. They put it through a pretty good process. They're kind of like I am. They're anal about what they do, so they make sure that that's it. You're getting exactly what you paid for. I don't want inert matter or any other weed seed that may have gotten mixed in that. I want good clean seed. So they're real good about it.
We're also really good for having the freshest product. So we don't sell last season's seed, scents, mineral. Everything is normally within.
Mineral we don't have to worry about because that
Yeah.
usually goes out the door.
Real
Usually,
quick.
we're like, okay, we need to
So-
order another couple tons.
Yeah, so we want you to have the freshest. So we buy in smaller amounts and keep reordering because we don't want any of our dealers and or ourselves to hold that over to the next year.
Yeah.
Even though the seed is still good, you do lose a little bit of germination rate
Yeah.
in it every year, and depending on how you're storing it, which I know Chris could probably tell you a little more on that.
I think our germination rate, on when we get that brand new, I think we're like 98%. It's right up there, 98, 99%.
And
And
that's
they
something.
say they say you'll lose you can lose up to maybe 2% a year by letting it sit.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, personally, myself, I mean, I've got buddies and I've got other customers that are like, no, I know it. Hey, you got, especially if you're going to give me a little discount. You got any seed from last year that's still sitting there? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I got a few bags. All right, I'll take that. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, just know that you may drop down into that 96,
Yeah.
97% range on germination, but seed's pretty good for a while, honestly. But again, like Dawn said, that's just how anal we are about everything. We want to make sure that we're giving our customers the best product that we can give them, and getting that fresh seed from them is just kind of, I guess, reassurance to us that we know that what we're sending out the door to our customers is going to do what we say it's going to do. And we've been with them now. What's this? Our third year, fourth year with them, and we have had just fantastic luck. Of course, we've been under drought here the last 3 years prior to this year. Now we're underwater this year here in Iowa,
Yeah.
but 3 years prior we've been under drought. So people did struggle. Again, that didn't really matter whose seed you had then. If you're not getting any rain, and I don't care whose seed you're running, if you're not getting the moisture, it's not going to grow. So
Well, that's very important, though, what you guys said. Like, you guys are really anal about the freshness of your product. A lot of companies out there leave product on the shelves. A lot of those big companies out there, and you all know who they are. Like, the seed that don't sell last year, it'll go back on, and it's the same price. They don't drop the price on the shelves.
right.
That's very important because seed sitting will lose, seed.
It'll lose its germination rate. Will drop.
Yeah. Well,
They
they'll
say about 2% a year
Well,
is what they're saying.
there's still a moisture content in each seed, even though you think it's dry. There's still a moisture content in there, and
Yep.
once that moisture content keeps dropping, the germination rate drops as well with it. And so having the freshest seed, and that's what I'm trying to tell the people. Like, Jinx'Em, they take that extra step. They're a very special company. There ain't a lot of companies out there that take the steps that Shawn and Dawn do, like with dumping old scent. We just talked about this, dumping old scent down the drain that has been sitting.
Yep.
That's what I did last night.
Yeah.
I know.
And I think we still got some bottles out there in the box that
Still froze.
And-
were
there's
still
nothing-
froze up that we needed to let thaw so
Yeah.
that we could get them poured out.
Yeah, but like you said, like, you can use that to start up your scrapes in the summertime. That's all.
Oh
good for
yeah,
you. And you guys do that, but you guys wouldn't sell that at the 100% rate that you're normally selling your scent at. You're
No,
using
right,
it for
and that's-
yourselves or your friends.
that's kind of us. Is like, what, if I'm gonna sell, if I've got urine and
Yeah.
it's a year old, I'm gonna tell you that it's a year old, so
Yeah.
you know exactly what you're buying. I've used as old as 4-year-old dominant buck that been in the freezer for 4 years. Actually, me and a buddy, and we went out, thawed it, used it, had great luck with it. But I won't
Yeah.
sell that.
Yeah.
Even though I know it works. And honestly, Don will tell you, I use a lot of our old scent because we always have scent left over every year because we need to. Because you get guys like me.
Run them.
I run them year round. I mean, that's it. I always have at least 2 mocks that I'm like lately here. The last couple of years, I've been right here in town, so I've been on my urban property. It's nice and close and easy. I can run mocks right here in our backyard, pretty much.
Here you
So
go,
I'll run
Shawn.
it. Yeah, I'll run a couple mocks, during that. But then you always got the guys that come in. We don't bottle until mid-August, but you always got those guys that start popping in around June, maybe even early July. They're like, hey, I'm ready to get my summertime mocks going. You got any urine? So we do keep urine around for that reason. But
Yep.
like I said, here we are. We're bottling in just a couple weeks, less than 2 weeks,
A week and a half.
a week and a half.
Yeah.
So right now we're getting rid of everything that we've got bottled that was frozen. We're just emptying out our freezers, getting rid of everything that we've got. It's going down the drain. And that's it. We bottle here on the 16th, and everything will be fresh. And that's just the way we do it. Like Don and I even talked the other day, you know, it's our reputation.
Yep.
You
It's
know,
our name.
it ain't only going to take you but pumping out a few bottles of bad product, old product, which again generally works. I'm pretty anal on my estresses though. I'll use that dominant buck, 3, 4, 5-year-old stuff that's been frozen. My estrus, I want fresh. That's just me. But I do have staff that they'll put what they don't use up in a season, they'll freeze it back and they pull it back out and they use it the following season during the rut and they swear by it. They're like, dude, that stuff is still working. Again, yes, it does.
Yep.
But I'm not going to sell that to the public. And like I said, if I do, if somebody was to get a hold of me in late October and say, hey, dude, would you run me a deal if you got any of your like your old estrus, man? Would you cut me a deal if I wanted to buy, you know, a dozen bottles? Yeah, I'm going to cut you a deal for that last year's product if we've got any left. Like I said, we're dumping most of everything now anyway. So, but we try to hold on to it till about now, week or two before we bottle fresh. That's it. Okay, we've got freezers. I don't want to say full, but we've got a few boxes of urine that we are not selling this year, and we just need to get rid of it.
We need the room.
Yeah, and we need the room for the new coming in, the fresh coming in. So that's it. That's kind of what we've been doing here the last few days, is going through that. Dawn actually a little harder than me. I've been being the
Video
editor, stuff like that. So we got another new commercial that's going to be coming out here.
Cool.
I thought today, but our guy that's working on that didn't get her done up yet. So
Nice.
but
Well, there's your chance, Shawn, right there. You see Chris's comment right there?
what's
There's
he?
your
No,
chance.
I can't. I got to tip my phone up. I
You
think.
got to look at. There's the comment. He's liquidating, and he is liquidating, huh, Shawn? I'm just giving him a little shot here from all the different. So you see that it's up on the screen right down there at the bottom, city sticker. Can you see it?
See, I'm not. I can't see comments for some reason.
live chat.
Oh, there we go.
You see it?
Leave it to the wifey to figure it out.
I know. But you see
Where's
that little
it? All the way to the bottom.
city stickers, last comment. It should be up on the screen if you're looking at the. You can't see it on the screen we're on.
Chris, Indiana.
Indiana, Chris.
I know, city sticker.
I'm not seeing him on here. I'm
Scroll
seeing
down.
Johnny. Oh, there he is up here. I'm liquidating all of mine in mock scrapes now.
Okay, that's what I was saying. That's
Yeah,
what
I
you
said
can-
that me and being Ted were actually talking about you today. I was like, oh my God. I said, what is he doing? He's throwing everything but the kitchen sink at these dudes, man. This dude's got like 5 different scent companies' products, man. And he probably, it wouldn't surprise me if he urinated in them himself too. I mean, you just
Don't
never
put it
know.
past them. Don't put it past
That guy
them.
was going crazy out there. I was like, holy crap, you don't need all that, dude.
No, that was
I
funny.
mean,
He
it's going to
said he was
work. It'll
liquidating.
work. 100% going to work.
Yeah.
But you don't need all that. And you'll still get the same.
He's running a few mocks though. He's running a couple. He's doing a little more than normal for him, like this time of year. So he's out there getting it all out there. But I think he's liquidating all his stock so he can fill up with some new scent, if you know what I'm saying.
I think it's some Jinx'Em, right? Yeah,
That's
burn that
exactly.
stuff up.
See, that's what he says right there. He's like, companies give me stuff, I try to can use them all up. There's only one scent company, Chris. I've told you that many times, buddy. There's only one scent company.
I get companies giving me stuff to try. Can't use them all.
So let me since we're talking about the scents real quick, we'll get back to the food plots. But since we're talking about the scents with the urines, let's go into your synthetics, because your synthetic urines are one of a kind. There ain't many synthetics that I've used out there that are as potent and as good of smelling, if you can say that, like deer pee smelling good. Well,
it does. I like it.
There's not too many synthetics out there that have the results and the quality that you guys are putting out right now. So can you give us a little bit of, you don't have to tell us any of your secrets, but just give us a little intro with this synthetics, because I'm going to start using more. And we talked about that today, whereas when I'm actually hunting that day, I like putting fresh in, but I'm always putting synthetic out at the beginning of the year and running it throughout the year. But when I hunt, I like to dump the fresh into my synthetic scrapes just
Yep.
for like an intruder scent type deal. So go ahead and explain like your synthetics and that, because I know we want to push them this year because they're
Well,
such a good product.
you and I had discussed this earlier, and I was anti. I mean, I hated synthetic scents. I hated them. And y'all
Because of
know who they
why?
were. Y'all know who were the leaders. And I mean, I started hunting in the late 70s, 80s. Y'all know who the top dogs were, and everybody used it. And I scared more deer away with that crap than I ever brought in. And so it just kind of, and then some newer ones came out as we come into the into the 90s, into the early 2000s. You were seeing different companies coming in, but everything was synthetic, and I tried them all, and I scared my biggest deal was it's like this stuff puts these deer on alert every single time. It's like not like you and I had one buck I killed in all those years. I actually had one buck come in that literally was sniffing and smelling it. You said the same thing, that you think you're talking. I think if I remember, you said you only killed one deer.
Off of scented
That
off of,
actually
yep.
followed it up, and you actually shot him.
Yep.
And that was my big struggle with synthetics, and that's why I was just anti-synthetic so bad. I mean, somebody come around and like, hey man, you wanna, here, try this, man. It's like, okay, is that, what do you got? No, no, I don't want to try it. I don't want to use it. I've done it all. I've used everything that's out there available. And then I got introduced to 100% and was like, it was like somebody had a light switch. I mean, literally it was difference between night and day. Um, and I see these guys on these different groups and they're commenting with some of these older synthetic scents that are still doing good. They're still selling, and I just cringe when I'm reading them. Like, I mean, and to me, it's like, okay, well, it's pretty obvious this guy has never used 100% urine, because if he did, he would not be saying what he's saying on this post. So that was it. I was just real hardcore. I didn't want to go. I didn't want synthetic. I didn't like synthetic. I never had luck with synthetic, and the 100% blew me away, and was like, that's where I'm going. And it took 7 years. First 7 years of Jinx'Em, I was getting pretty regular inquiries or requests for guys wanting to send me their blend that they made up of doe estrus, buck urine, and it was just horrible. I mean, some of this stuff came in, and I'm not even lying. It smelled like Dawn dish soap, and it's like, yeah, ammonia. It had like a perfumey smell to it. It's just like, what is going on? What are these guys trying to sell here? So it just actually turned me off even more on synthetic. And I finally ended up having a buddy of mine after 7 years. I had a buddy got a hold of me. He says, dude, I know this old timer, dude, and he's an old timer. And this dude knows his crap. And he's got some synthetic urine that he's come up with that he wants to send you up some samples and wants you to check it out. And I'm like, sure, you know what? Send them up. And kind of going into it, literally thinking, yep, here we go again. This is going to be some, jacked up recipe that somebody sat in their garage and make. It's going to smell like freaking, Geritol and Gatorade. So that was it. I got it in, and I was kind of excited, like crossing the fingers, like, man, let's hope that this actually is something that I say yes to. Because we knew that we wanted to go to synthetic, because there are a lot of states out there that don't allow 100% pure in. And then there's also other states that only allow ATA certified urine in. So we needed to expand and get into a synthetic, but I just never found anything. There was nothing I wanted to put my name on and put out there. Just like, there's no way. I mean, this literally, we're going to have to find a synthetic that I can't tell the difference between 100% and the synthetic. And that's literally what happened. I opened up the first bottle of that dominant buck that old geezer sent to me, and boy, I took away for that, and I was like, oh my God, that smells like deer urine, like, seriously, 100%. And actually, it had just a little bit stronger of a odor, not like overpowering, but it just had more, just a little richer of an aroma to it. And then I cracked open that doe estrus, and I was like, oh my God. And we were together then when that all come in, and I had Dawn smell it. And I'm serious. If you were here and I let you smell the synthetic, and I let you smell the dominant buck, and then blindfolded you, of course, you're going to be able to tell me which one was which. But I'm going to guarantee you that if you've never smelled our synthetic or smelled our 100%, I will blindfold you. And honestly, I bet you, and I ain't even joking. I'll bet you probably 8 out of 10, maybe even you might even get a 10 out of 10 guys would pick that synthetic as being the real deal because it has that just that little bit more of a bite to it. But again, not like overpowering, but it's just like it's just a tad stronger. And I'm thinking that people would smell that and go, well, yeah, that's got to be the 100%. That lighter smelling stuff, or that's probably the synthetic. And it's not that it's lighter smelling, but it is just a tad lighter smelling than our synthetic. So that was it. I was pretty excited, and I went out and I built a mock scrape, put a camera up over it, and that was before I had any cell cameras, of course. And because I actually just started those here a couple of years ago. And so that was it. I let a camera run for like a week, went out and pulled that SD card. And when I got out to my mock, it was all tore up. So I was like, okay, they're working it. And that was it. Went out there like a week later, pulled that SD card and come into the house and threw it in the computer and was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Had some pretty good, nice bucks on it. So
now let me bring you to a point real quick, Shawn. Synthetics and natural, okay? Do you believe that your synthetic will last longer out in the field longer than natural because there's something special in the synthetic, or do you just think that it's just a synthetic? Like, is there a difference in the duration of potency? If you put it on a log outside, both of them on a log, would the synthetic last longer and stay stronger smelling longer?
I would guess probably to be able to say with definitively. I don't know, but I just know that our synthetics got a 2-year shelf life. That's at room temperature. If you keep it refrigerated like we do, we keep it refrigerated all the time. That shelf life is pretty much indefinitely. Now 100%, it's urine. It's got the bacteria. It's got everything in it. There's nothing being stripped out of it or killed in it, and to stop it from spoiling. So that's going to spoil quicker. Definitely is going to spoil quicker, especially outside at room temperature. And I know you've been up on some of your mocks, and a lot of other guys that are listening, I'm sure you've gotten on some of your mocks. And I've got a mock every year. If the wind's right, I'm 50 yards away from that mock, and I can smell it. And it smells like an old deer yard, literally like a deer farm.
That's the best smell in the world when you go up and you know that other deer are hitting it and you just
smell I mean that's all. Yeah, you get
smell.
Yep, you get that 50 yards away and the wind's right and blowing, and you're like, oh my God, I can smell that scrape all the way over here. Yeah, the deer have been hammering on it hard, and that's what you want. I mean, literally, those are the scrapes that you want. Them are the ones you put a stand right over top of. You sit 20 yards off in that scrape, and you're probably going to end up shooting something. So
now
let
you already had everything.
Did
I? Dawn's just hanging out. Her wheels are turning in her head. I could tell.
I had a whole bunch of stuff to say, but he
covered it all.
So we're good.
I kind of figured. So, well, first of all, since we're on that subject, Dawn, you are like the behind. You're out there on these lives and your advertisement, and you're out there in the field with everybody, and you hunt yourself. But you're like the wheels that are turning behind the scenes as well, with all the product and the shipping and the sales part of it. You do all that stuff behind the scenes as well, correct?
I do.
Yeah, cool. Well, we appreciate all you do because it's a great company, and everything that you do it's really awesome the way you reach out to people and you write your little notes to them when they're buying stuff from you and stuff like that. So
everybody gets a love letter. That's what they've nicknamed them, their love letters. So
yes, so we really appreciate that as a customer.
Yeah, and my whole thing again, it's our name. So everything from the time that you see your box arrive, I want it to be sort of like Christmas morning, like you're excited to see it, sort of like some people are with Amazon boxes.
They are.
And, we have our branding on the boxes, when you open it up, you've got your packing slip. I always have some samples in there, a decal and your little love letter, and everything's packed nice and tight. I'm not one to just throw a piece of product in there because I've worked at FedEx like 30 some years ago and I know what those packages go through. So if you can get that stuff packed nicely to where it's not moving much, it's going to arrive to your customer in as good a shape as when you packed it. So to me, that's very
unless you're going through the USPS and then they lose 50-pound bags of mineral.
Well, I have yet to have anything spilled or anything damaged or anything from you guys, so I appreciate the way you do things over there, for
I
sure.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. So we got on the scent with because we are trying to push that. That synthetic is something special, guys, I'm telling you. So definitely go over to the link, check it out. If you want to save 10%, use my code. Get over to Jinx'Em Sents, check them out on Facebook. Make sure you're following them because they're always doing some cool stuff over there. But Deer Corner has this, and I'm going to read this to you, Shawn, real quick, and Dawn. It says, now this is about the seed. It says, it all is on how many years or generations that seed crossed itself before a different seed is introduced in pollination to keep your germination high. So I guess it's like almost like the roots of the seed. If you're crossbreeding it throughout, it'll be less and less effective as opposed to being maybe the turnip seed itself, I guess. I don't really know how like the seed is crossed, with a different seed to make it less the germination's low on it. I don't really know. If he's in here, Deer Corner, if you could explain that a little bit more to me, because I don't know how seeds get crossed. I really don't.
Well, they'll cross seeds too. A lot of times when they're crossing seeds, if they're doing it in a controlled environment, they're crossing that seed to try to generate a hybrid, to try to generate something that's going to do better.
Yeah.
But if you're letting seed, I think maybe where he's going with that is seed that you're letting your plants in the field grow up and allowing them to seed out on their own over time. Those seeds are going to be I don't know what the word I want to look for, weaker, I guess, and that's what I'm going to guess is where he's maybe talking about with that. But anybody, like with our supplier and any other seed suppliers around the country, they're buying that stuff that's, like I said, a lot of it. I don't want to say it like that, but it's kind of like weed. I mean,
Yeah.
they crossbreed that to get better weed, and they do the same thing with our crops. With corn, GMO corn, soybeans, alfalfa, clover, all that. They're slowly coming out with a GMO of pretty much everything. So, but like I said, I think where he was going with that probably is that anything you're just leaving out in the wild in your field, that you're allowing that all to cross pollinate each other, that over time you're going to lose germination because you're literally breeding a weaker strain of the seed, basically, of the plant.
And that's what he said. He just said it basically becomes inbreeding.
Yep.
Like an inbreeding thing. And now Chris put up a little comment, and I'm going to he said, my vines around the house, I have Jinx'Em Preorbital. In fact, I grabbed the card today, and I was prepared to come in here tonight and brag on you with pictures, too. So, Chris, I am sending the link out in the chat. If you want to come up here, and show us some pictures, you are more than welcome to, buddy. So if you have your PJs on and you're ready for bed, and you have your little tea and you're ready to go to bed, and you have your bunny slippers on, you can still come up here and get on live, and let's see these pictures if you have some. I'm fishing with him Saturday, guys. He's coming up Saturday to the lake house, and we're going to do some fishing together. I think he's hooked on the lake. There he is. He jumped up pretty quickly. Boom. There he is. Look at that. Look at that ugly mug.
I don't see him. There he is.
There he is.
What's up, Chris?
What's going on?
That'll wake you up if you were tired, huh?
Man, you guys, you're throwing deer urine out there like we're having a trash can party back when we was kids in the woods.
Dude, I
throwing
gotta
a little bit of everything in there.
He was throwing the Milwaukee's Best, the natural
I gotta
light,
get
and all
rid
that
of
stuff together.
Here's the thing. Like I said, I got people giving me urine saying, try this. I can't. I don't have enough places to put this stuff out at. You know what I'm saying?
I know where you can put it, but I don't want to say it on here.
So I'm trying to use it all up. But the gist of all of that is I'm pitting one against the other, and we're going to see who
the winner is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm not a urine guy to begin with.
Yeah,
I'm really not. I'm a gland guy.
Well, you're in luck that you met us.
Yeah. So I've been using the preorbital on vines around the house, and I did purposely. I went out and got some cards, and now I don't have any.
Are you okay?
I don't have any ringers here to show you, but I pulled the cards, and just for proof to the viewers, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Let me see if I can get this in here. That's probably clear as mud, huh?
No, I can see it. It's
Can
getting
you see
clear. Yeah.
So, let me see. I got a swipe here.
Go
Let's
like
see.
this, Chris. Go above it and try to douse the light a little.
Hold
maybe.
on.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see. I got my light on. Okay.
That's a little better.
Let's see if I can swipe here.
Plus, not having the light on you improves the quality too.
Not
There you
showing
go.
me. Not showing my face.
Yep,
Can you
there
see
you go.
that?
You can see
You
it.
see that?
Yep.
Ah, is that the Jinx'Em pre-orbital on that vine?
Yes,
Chris?
it is.
See that?
So I'm here to brag on you and tell people, and that one's a nice buck. I don't know if you can see that.
And it's hard. Oh yeah, it is. Not a nice buck.
Half decent.
And
I can't tell from that picture to see how nice he was, but
He's not real big.
oh, there you go. Yep, that's not a bad buck.
Not a bad buck for around my area. But anyhow, like I said, a lot of times I'll grab products and like I said, people send them. They're like, "Hey, try this. If you like it, let us know." You know. And sometimes I don't even get back to the people or whatever, you know. But for the listeners here tonight, I got that bottle last year and I'm still using it. So.
Did you get
It's,
that late last year? Did you get it later in the season, or did you? Get it
Well,
before
when
the
you
season?
made that order
Yeah.
with them, I
Yeah,
had
we
I
got
had
you- I
it
got
tacked
you one.
on your order.
Yeah. I think I was later
No,
in
and-
the season, maybe.
And we've been honestly, we've been getting rave reviews about our Mystic pre-orbital. I mean, literally everybody's like, "Wow!" I've got guys literally that don't even buy my urine. They go out and make mock scrapes, and they don't even put no urine in the scrape. They hang a vine and put that pre-orbital on it, and they're like, "Dude, I got deer coming in with just your pre-orbital. That stuff is amazing." So
Yeah.
no, we've been rave reviews on it. Everybody is liking it, and
You want to tell them why our pre-orbital is different than a lot
Well,
of
I don't
No,
have
but
any
you can.
urine.
No, you can.
I don't have
Oh,
any
yeah.
urine under these vines.
Yeah, it's just the pre-orbital.
yeah,
on the vine.
there you go,
Yep.
right there. Yep, and I got a lot. So I got a bunch of guys doing that, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I do scrape the
I throw
ground
the
up.
urine. Yep. But also, what kind of makes our pre-orbital? So our pre-orbital gland set has, you'll see a lot of these companies out there. So if you're just buying just a straight pre-orbital gland set, that is the tear ducts. That's what
Correct.
they're getting. You're getting the pre-orbital. That's all you're getting.
Correct.
And then you got some of them. I do know of another company out there that's doing pre-orbital, and they also have the forehead gland set in with their pre-orbital or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Ours, we're completely different. Ours, and I think that's why we're having such good results with it all. Our pre-orbital has every single gland that is on a deer's head. It's got the saliva gland, the nasal gland, the forehead gland, the pre-orbital gland, tear ducts, the earwax gland.
Yeah.
Everything, every single gland that is on a deer's head is in our pre-orbital gland set, our Mystic. So I think it's. I mean, honestly, with a lot of what's available out there in the market out there, ours is kind of a supercharged pre-orbital compared to many of the others that are out there that just they're just concentrating on just simply pre-orbital gland set, or they're infusing it with maybe forehead gland set. But like I said, ours literally has all of it. So
Yeah.
when the deer
I've
goes up,
only dealt with one other company that has that, all that other glands mixed, the earwax and the saliva and things, and it worked very well for me. But as I said, I have yours and I've been using it, and I'm here to say that it works.
yeah,
That's why you're gonna get a deer this year.
I better get a couple, you know.
and then you're gonna send us a picture holding up that
You
pre-orbital
know-
gland set with your big giant
Yeah.
buck.
There
you
you
would have
go.
been using it all season last. Did you shoot a buck last year, Chris?
Yeah, a dink. One to put in the freezer. That's what I
It
shot.
was a meat deer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. You don't have to be ashamed. That was. A
It was
deer. That
severe
that'd be
ground
fine.
shrinkage on top of it.
When you shot
Severe.
that deer,
I swear that deer was a lot bigger than that.
Oh man.
I got a text message and I got, hey dude, I shot a deer. I shot a buck, but I'm disappointed it had ground shrinkage. I'm like, dude, but you wanted a deer.
It shrank so much that the brow points disappeared.
Whatever happened to
I thought it
hey,
was an 8-point. Here it ended up being a giant 6-point.
Whatever
I did that. I did that about the last year that I gun hunted there, 2020. I went out second morning and I see this buck coming through the timber, and he was 100 yards away, and I'm in the river bottom, so I mean he's in the timber, and I could just see the one side. Man, he looked real tall and just looked like a pretty good buck, and he hit the opening right there, and I touched it off, of course, killed him, and I got up on him, and I was like, oh crap.
Yep.
Two
That's
and a
what
half
I
year
said.
old 2.5-year-old 8-point, like you say with the brown
Yep.
tights. He literally he had just the one side, he broke it off and it was sticking up literally like a half inch, and then his other side was full, but it was still only about an inch tall, and I was like, dang it.
well, there's
So,
nothing
yeah.
wrong. There's nothing
It
wrong.
happens.
I take
Chris's
responsibility
trophy-
for it, but I was upset. I really was upset.
Chris, your trophy is just different than my trophy. That's all.
Yeah.
He's the one you kind of look around and you're like, I hope none of my friends are around here and just watch
Yeah.
this shot.
Yeah,
No,
I
it
took it. I took it down to the butcher shop, and they was like, "Where's the rack?" I said, "I already cut it off."
That's funny.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah,
have
but I
Tell your buddies. I had a couple of them too. Tell my buddies like, I shot one this morning. Oh, send me some pictures. No, I ain't sending you no pictures. Come
just
on,
tell 'em-
man. No,
I just tell them I didn't
no.
take any. I didn't
Right,
take
right.
anything.
Well, they know Shawn takes pictures.
I was in a hurry, man. I had to get him out of there. It was warm. Sorry, no pictures.
That's
So
funny.
the vine, you're using a vine, Chris. Now let's
Yeah, I
let's
have
get
some
into.
natural. I have some natural vine on my
They
property.
like the vines here too, but I know you guys sell the ropes as well. So
Yep,
you want to touch
yep.
a little bit on the because that's fairly new to you guys, the rope.
It
from
is.
last year.
Last year was our first year with the ropes. They work. You see them pictures all over Facebook, so you know they work. But I'm with you, Ted. We talked about this earlier. I do get a little bit more better response off vine than I do off the rope. Although I shouldn't really say that, I guess, because a rope in the right location for some reason on the right mock, it's like they'll sit there. I've had 150-inch deer flapping it around and dancing around it and just like playing with it, having fun. But for overall interaction, I do better with vine than I do with the rope. Yeah. But again, like I said, I do well with the rope too. But yeah. I mean, that's I guess me too, just being honest. Yeah, we sell rope, and I'm going to sell you rope, and it's going to work.
Yeah.
We had a lot of requests for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
Sure,
we get a lot of guys like those ropes, and some guys.
I haven't used one yet, and I've had people texting me lately because they see my videos and they're like, "Where's your ropes?" I'm like, I haven't used one yet, to be honest. I've never tried it. Well, and really, as a matter of fact, last year was the first year I used the vine. I've been strictly all natural.
Yeah, the vine,
I think that's the most important, really, is because you want, as Shawn always said, when you go in to hunt, you want to become one of the deer. Mm-hmm. So if you can use as much natural as you can, that's their home. It's just like
you're leaving.
We had a customer on the phone when we were in Michigan, and he was talking about, oh my God, I found this great run, and I'm just going to go stick a blind out. And I said, okay, let's talk about this a little more. You need to understand, you just can't go and plop up a blind just like that. I said, you got to brush it in. You got to make it so like it's what they're used to. Because if I come to your front yard or your backyard and I come and pitch a tent in your backyard, you're going to notice that I pitched a tent in your backyard. Right. It's the exact same thing. We're coming into the deer's house.
Yeah.
Correct.
And they know where everything is. They know when a tree has fallen. They know, when there's been a bad storm and things have gotten moved.
Well, and it's no different if I come into your living room, really, because that's what you're doing. We're going into their bedroom and their living room, their kitchen, wherever.
Everything is
and
going
you hang a tree stand. You walk in after work and you walk in your living room and there's a tree stand hanging on your wall in your living room. You'll be going, hey, who put that there? Yeah. And I'm not a big fan, and I hunt public ground, which doesn't help, makes it even worse. But I am not a big fan of pop-up blinds, even if you do brush them in.
Well, the one
Those,
thing too, Sean, that I wanted to mention too, and we talked about this earlier. Like everybody thinks, okay, you can go out and they say, oh, this if they buy Jinx'Em Scent, okay, and we're sitting here and we're ranting and raving about it because it works for us. It works for everybody, everyone in here, and I know it worked for my dad as well. So, but you still got to have it in the right spot, okay?
location,
Like your
location,
location,
location.
anybody can go. Like I could sell this to say Chris was a newbie on the channel and he's like, oh, I'm gonna try this Jinx'Em Scent. He goes walking out in the woods and he don't do much scouting. He's not looking for trails. He's not looking for bedding areas or travel areas. And he goes and he has a stand up and he puts a scrape to the right of his stand because it's an easy shot. Okay, he makes a scrape right there and puts it up or puts a camera on it. He may get a few doe in there, maybe a spike or a forkhorn in there, just sniffing it around. And then they say, "Oh, that scent don't work. I didn't get no big bucks on it." Location is everything when you're making a scrape. You have to strategically put it in an area that they would normally scrape at. You can't
Yep.
go and just put a scrape on a cement pad and expect a deer to go and make and use that scrape. You got to have it in his comfort zone, in his travel route, and somewhere where they feel comfortable scraping.
Well, and another thing, and I'm going to tell you this is a big one that'll help a lot of guys out, and I get a lot of this a lot. I shouldn't say a lot, I guess, but I get it. I get guys that message like, "Hey, man, I got a mock scrape all set up, and it's been running for a week, and I just haven't been getting anything to show up." And it's like, okay, so how many mocks are you running? And they're like, "Well, I'm just running the one." And it's like, well, there's your problem. Because I try to run around 10 mocks a year. The older I get, it's harder and harder to run that many. But I try to run about 10 mocks is what I want, maybe a dozen if I can. Um, but you're going to find that out of those dozen mocks that you're running, you're only going to have like 4 of them that are kicking tail, that are like fire. I go and pull my card after a week and I've got 17, 18 different bucks showed up in that week's time on that one mock. My best that I've ever done, I had 27 bucks in 7 days show up on one of my mocks. And that was like 5 years ago, and I'm still running that same mock, and I still get a boatload of bucks that show up on that mock. It's just that mock is in the sweet spot. It's in a travel corridor. I don't know why it performs as well as it does, honestly, but it does. But then I can take a mock that's 500 yards away from there, basic same kind of setup, everything's like, man, this is, pretty much kind of what I have going on over there. You go to mock there, you come back and you let that dang mock run for 2 or 3 weeks. And the most pictures or videos, I run my mocks on video, and the most that I get, in that 2-3 weeks time, I come in and I've got like 37 videos, and it's like, man, it's been 3 weeks. I get 37 videos on one of my mocks I get in 1 day.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the whole deal too. So the whole deal with running these mocks is a bail on the ones that aren't performing for you. You go in and you build a mock scrape and you ain't got nothing happen. You come back after a week and you pull your card and you got 8 videos on there. That's it. I might run that mock another week. I might even run it 2 weeks. All depends. But if I come back in there a week later and I get another 8-10 videos, and then I decide, you know what, I'm gonna go 1 more week just to see, and I come back and I got another 8 or 10 videos on that. That's it. That mock is done. I am pulling everything, pulling my camera. I'll leave the scrape's already there, so they're still gonna keep probably coming in even after I've left. But I'm getting out of there, and I might go 60, 80, 100, 500, half a mile, whatever. I'm going to a new location and I'm going to restart. I'm going to reset a camera. I'm going to restart up another mock in a complete brand new area. And I'm going to be back in a week and I'm going to pull that SD card. And what you'll find is if you're doing that, and what I found over the years too, is that every year I add another good mock to my stack of mocks that I'm running.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing it long enough now that, I've got 7 or 8 of my mocks out of 10 that are doing real well. And those are the mocks that I continue to open up year after year after year. Those are my scrapes. I open those up. I get and they're just in that sweet spot. So, again, like I said, the guys that are having trouble and you're just not getting deer visiting, that scrape's not in the right area. It's not where it needs to be, because if it was, you would be getting that action. And like you had said, Ted, you get in where the deer are at, where everybody, I don't care who you are, every deer hunter out there that's got his little piece of ground that he hunts, he finds scrapes in the exact same area every single year after year after year after. Get in there. That's where you got to be. You got to get in with them. You can't go over, up 500 yards away where there's not even hardly any deer trails and definitely no scrapes, no rubs, no nothing, and build a scrape and think that you're going to get all these deer going to show up on your camera. That's just not how it works. And like Don was saying, you got to become one of the deer. When you carrying that bottle of Jinx'Em Sents in that woods, that's you. That's a Jinx'Em deer. I'm going in. I'm going to treat this mock with Jinx'Em and set my camera up, and I'm going to see what's coming in. And like I said, in those scrapes that are consistently producing bucks day after day after day. I mean, some of my scrapes, I got some of those bucks. That big one I killed here back in 21, they're supersized. That buck, I had him coming into that scrape like 3 times a day. He'd show up in the morning, he'd show up in the middle of the day, and he was back in there again before dark and evening. And that's you'll get bucks like that. But then again, you'll have other good big bucks. He might show up every 3-4 days. So, but those are the scrapes that you want to concentrate on, and you want to bail and get rid of those scrapes that are not producing. You're just wasting your time. You're wasting urine. You're wasting money, and there's no sense to stay there anymore. It's time to pull. Now, I'll throw this in real quick before I end this on all this. I do have a scrape. The scrape that I got 27 bucks on in a week. That scrape is located so far back in the river bottoms. I ran that scrape for like 4 years straight, nonstop. 4 years, never shut that scrape down. It ran from January 1 to January 1 to January 1 for 4 years.
Yeah.
And what I found out with that scrape was come May, June, July, even August a little bit, the deer aren't back in it because they're out front on that public ground, and then across the road from that public ground is all farm ground. So that's where all the soybeans and all the corn and all the hay fields. So all these deer come out of that river bottom and they're hanging by the food. They ain't traveling a mile to go back into that timber to hang in the river bottoms. So that scrape would always slow way down on me. So I finally, after 4 years, I said, you know what, that's enough. I'm not even opening the scrape up until September 1. And that's what I do. And but that's it. What's nice about it is you start to get them to kind of move in there, even though those crops are still up out front and everything. You start to get a little human intrusion. People start getting into the woods in September and kind of looking around and building their mock scrapes and setting cameras and getting ready. That pressure, that little bit of pressure, will push those deer. Now I start picking up some of those deer, especially some of those upper age class deer, start to move back a little bit deeper into that timber to avoid human contact. But what happens where I'm at, what the best part is when the farmers harvest, when all that corn comes off, when all them soybean fields come off, hay fields are cut, there's literally nowhere for them to hide. They come into that river bottom because that's the only cover that they literally have. And I'll tell you what, man, once the crops are harvested, my scrapes just like somebody dropped a match on gasoline. They just explode, they ignite. And so, like I said, you might have a scrape that you're running now that is, and you're not getting that action on it, and I'm telling you to bail on it and get out of there. I found out with this scrape that I run, that scrape right there, that's how that scrape is, because it's so, but that's it. I can go up by the front where all the crop fields are, because there are some crops on the public ground too. I can get way up front instead of going a mile back in the river bottom. I can come right up front by where all the crops are, put a mock scrape in, and guess what? I start picking up all my deer, because that's where they're staying at. They're staying close to the food. There's no pressure. I mean, literally, these deer they'll bed down in that food, during the day.
See, there's points that I was going to make there as well. Like that you touched on. Like I know it's not strong time right now, but
Yep.
I went back in deep and put these mocks in this past weekend because I know they're going to be starting to come back in there because we had that frost, late frost, and then we had monsoon season. Now we're in a drought season, and what's going to happen is the oaks are going to start shedding those acorns early.
Yep. And they're going to move right into the
They're going to
food.
move right into the timber. And what I do is I hijack a lot of scrapes. I take real
I do
scrapes
too.
and I open them up and I just supercharge them. And you know, I have 8 out right now, and probably 5 of them are community scrapes that I just take over.
Yep.
And I know they're going to be there and they're going to use them. There's no question, or I wouldn't be in there doing it, you know. So
yep. And that's the same thing I've got going with my scrapes too. Yeah, I just know that scrape's going to turn on.
Yeah,
we're just not quite there yet. But
no,
like I said, once
a
the
couple
crops,
pictures
the
of
human
does.
pressure, then they're going to light up.
Yeah, I'm getting some pictures of does and squirrels and coons and bears, turkeys.
Well, and that's a lot. I get a lot of that too, where guys are like, "Man, I got this scrape running, man, but all I'm picking up is doe. I've only seen just a couple, and they're just little. I got a 4-pointer and a 6-point, and everything else is does and fawn." And I'm like, "Perfect. That is perfect.
Nothing
wrong. You keep running that mock because I'm going to tell you right now, dude. Once those bucks shed that velvet, we get into mid to later September. You're going to start seeing those bucks showing up on those scrapes too.
Yep. Hey, they'll follow them does around, and they'll be
every
on
time.
They'll be on camera soon.
Yep.
Every time. I've got to get to bed, so I'm going to say good night.
All right.
I'm gonna get off of here. It's good seeing you guys. We'll talk soon.
I'll send you a post after this, and when you're sleeping, you get up tomorrow, you'll have a post in your phone.
Okay. You're gonna have to send him the picture of what we're gonna we can talk about next, and let she wants to hang for just a second, real quick, and we can kind of show him what's going on here.
I think he can hang. I think he could hang.
I can hang for a couple minutes.
He looks like he's falling asleep.
All right, Ted, you go ahead, and I'll let you take on this, and then I will lift up the bag here and let everybody take a look.
All right, cool. All right, well, as you've seen, I got into food plotting a while ago, and Chris has helped me out a ton. And I've been working with Shawn and Dawn with my own seed blend, and we come up with a blend finally. We think it's the right blend for fall planting, and it's got 4 different things in it. It's got the kestrel kale, which is a softer kale. It's got like a really soft stem. It puts out a lot of tonnage. It's really good for like cattle and deer. So we added that into it. We also got the dwarf Essex rape. The dwarf Essex rape, they really like it down my place, and it's a great filler for them. It's a smaller plant. The kale is taller, more tonnage. The dwarf Essex is like a filler for the bare spots, and it's a high protein mix. It's a good mix with the kale. And then on top of that, you guys all know purple top turnips is a #1 thing for a deer food plot in the fall. They're all in the brassica families as well, so it's all a brassica plot that I wanted to plant. And then finally, the daikon radish is what we added to that, and I wanted to add that into there because the daikon radish will dig into that dirt and they'll get down in there, and what that does is it pulls the nutrients up into the plant itself, and all the nutrients that have been wasted that sort of go down deep in the soil, the daikon radish digs down deeply with their roots, and it pulls that nitrogen and all the minerals up to the surface to the plant.
And it also aerates your soil.
And it aerates the soil, so it's doing good for your soil for the next time you plant as well. I wanted to have some qualities of that in my food plot. So what we come up with, Shawn and Dawn were nice enough to come up with, and they even packaged it so you can pull it out and show everybody the blend that
and we made. Ted said he was going to cry. He was. I called him a big crybaby.
I'm going to do the drum roll, and they're going to show the new package and everything with the seed blend.
Well,
that one doesn't have a sticker on it. No, I'm just kidding.
It does. I'm going to turn it around. Just relax. Relax.
I know. I'm just kidding.
So the label that we got onto it, we actually Chat GTP designed for us, I fed in all the info, and it kicked out a pretty good label actually, but
Uh-huh.
it's lacking a lot too. So
Our graphic designer is in the middle of moving, so
Yeah,
she was unavailable.
this
first.
is,
Well, I appreciate it.
yep, this is just a prototype of the label, but we'll introduce Jinx'Em Off the Hook food plot blend, turnip, radish, kale, and rape. So there it is right there.
Look at that. Look at that, Chris. I got my
That's
own
cool.
off the hook blend. You like it?
That's cool. Yep.
That's going to be a heck of a fall blend. And I want you guys that are in here at least to go over, check it out, maybe place an order. I don't know how you're going to sell that.
This is
Shawn?
not going to be available for sale probably this year, Ted.
Because we're going to be testing it out and stuff.
Yeah, this is the test year. Ted's going to grow it and take care of it and baby it and love it and squeeze it and hug it and
I'll even lay
all
in
that. Yeah, all that good stuff. And then he is going to record it all. He's going to be taking pictures and kind of just tracking it throughout its growth.
We're going to build it up. We're going to build it up this year. We're going to see how it grows, see the deer. Hopefully, my son, my dad, myself, maybe we harvest some deer out of it this year. So we're going to put it to the test. We're going to plant it. I actually went this weekend with my father. We sprayed some of our food plots with the Gly. And we are ready to plant the 3rd week of August. We'll be ready to plant. So I'm planting that in multiple areas down there. We're going to take care of it. We're going to grow it. I'm going to video us doing everything step by step. We're going to go through the growth process, show you the plants, how they're growing. I'm going to do a full series on that plot. And then hopefully next year we get it up in the stock. We stock it and we sell it. And that becomes,
that's
I
the
want it to
plan.
be their number one. I want it to be their number one food plot feed. So you guys that are out there, make sure you're messaging Shawn and Dawn. Let them know that you want it for next year. You know, it ain't going to be, like I said, it ain't going to be available this year. We're just testing it this year. So we're just going to do all that this year. So follow along. Make sure you're checking out Jinx'Em Sents on Facebook. Make sure Jinx'Em Nation.
Ted's the guinea pig this year. So if the
be
plot fails, we're going to blame it on Ted.
Show that label again, Shawn. Show that label up close there. Let them see it. Put that right in the camera.
I thought it was going to have a picture of Ted on it.
Right? It might. We're not done. This is just a prototype, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was just for today.
It depends how they had to do that, Kristen. Now it's going to be like electric lightning bolts are going to be hitting it. It's going to be
My original one did have lightning bolts, by the way.
They're going to have.
It did.
They're going to have me like the Hulk Hogan thing with my Jinx'Em Scent ripping it off.
Oh my.
With the plants and all that.
So yeah, like I said, as long as it grows well and it does good,
and it will.
Most definitely, will probably be a blend that we are going to offer here this next year. So
and that Kestrel kale, Shawn, that is a really good. It is, everybody thinks of kale as like being woody when it grows. It's going to grow well into the fall, and it's a softer stem. It's more palatable, higher in nutrition. And there's some kind of science behind this that it doesn't give off. Don't quote me on the word, the methyphelamine, whatever the word is. And it's not an acid-based plant.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a low acid. It's a low acid plant that, like if you feed a horse too many apples, that folic acid will build up. So it doesn't build up an acid in the deer and the cattle and stuff like that. So it's a very palatable.
Very digestible for them.
Very digestible. So that, along with the dwarf Essex, I added the dwarf Essex because I've grown it before down my camp, and the deer love it down there. So I wanted that, and that's also a really high protein, but it's a good filler because it's a smaller brassica as opposed to the bigger stuff. So anything that doesn't grow and there's some holes, that dwarf Essex will fill that in and grow there. So that, and it'll still be a high protein, a highly palatable, leafy green with some tonnage on it. Not as much tonnage as the kale, but then the turnips is always a winner with deer. The purple top turnips. That's like a must in the brassica family to have it for a food plot. But then the daikon radish goes under the soil, pulls that nutrients out, aerates the soil, and brings those minerals. So anything that dies that you rototill in or mix in for next year is actually given back to the soil. So it's improving your soil quality.
Up your pH, up your nitrogen levels.
So it helps for next year, your food.
Soil builder.
And Chris is a big stickler on that. He always says
He
prepare
is
for
a city
next year.
sticker.
Plant
Yeah.
365, I say.
Yeah, and that means you're preparing your soils for next year with what you're planting this year. And that was all thought of in there. And Dawn and Shawn, I wanted to thank you. I'm excited. I got goosebumps and everything with that. But I
He
wanted
don't
to
let him
say
lie to you, Chris.
thank
He
you.
said he was crying. He was ready to cry. I called him a big crybaby.
I'll
Yeah.
give him a hug Saturday.
Yeah, give him a hug.
I even
Saturday.
sent him a bunch of emojis of little babies crying.
Yeah. But no, I appreciate you guys working with me on that and giving me the opportunity, and you
No,
trusting me.
I'm excited to see how it does, Ted. I hope
Mhm.
it just takes right off, and I hope you got deer just hammering the piss out of it, and
Yeah.
yeah, and we can literally have some good documentation to show
Oh,
the
yeah.
folks out there that hey, this is what this does, this is what it looks like when it's
For
taken
sure.
care of and when it's growing good, and
Yep.
here's the result. Here's the end results of all of our hard work.
Now you know you're gonna have me going out and buying a water buffalo now, right? You know that, right?
Hey, whatever it takes, dude.
Yeah.
If you got to stand out there and drink water and pee on it, it really don't matter. to me.
I'll have to invite Chris down a couple weekends to help me water it. You know? But yeah, I think Chris and I will get together this year, Chris, down there, and I'd like to come up your place and do some collabs.
Just
with the
grab
food
some
trucks.
cases of beer
Right.
and
There you go.
Yeah,
just
that's what it's going to
cases,
take.
cases of beer, and then you can water the whole plot.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was the big reveal for me.
All right,
That's
good
my.
stuff. Good stuff.
All right, Chris. I'll see you. Get some sleep, buddy.
Night,
I'll
honey.
see
All right,
guys.
Chris.
All
We'll
right,
see you,
good
buddy.
night.
All right, good
Good
night.
night. Yeah. But yeah, guys, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. It's that's I'm excited about it, and like I said, I think it's going to be a really good seller. It's a great fall
Looks
plot,
like a mineral.
and it's going to be well into November, December green with all the greens that are in there. It's going to stay green longer, and it's going to attract them deer in late season as well.
Oh
So,
yeah, those turnips and
Yeah.
those radishes
The
and that they'll
radishes
start
and that,
digging.
they'll
Yep, they'll start digging those up, and you get into the real cold.
Yeah.
I know those
appreciate it.
radishes. I know in our triple X that we got. I got a buddy that planted that triple X, and he's like, man, I can't. They're not killing them, but he's like, dude, they are just hammering the leaves on my radishes. They're eating them
Yeah.
right down. You know, they're just leaving enough to keep it growing.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's several of them that
Yeah,
they've
and
been
that
just,
kale is good for that because you can browse on that kale and it'll keep regrowing back that year. So it's good regeneration and it's good for it's good all around for the deer. So I'm really excited about it. I wanted to thank you personally for letting me do that and you guys trusting me and putting your name on that as well. So that's awesome. I won't do you wrong. I'll make you proud. So believe me, we're gonna.
You're a
record
yinzer. I
everything.
gotta trust you.
right.
Yeah, that's I got that going for me. I guess. being a
You
Yinzer.
do.
So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys being here tonight. I guess Wenda, we don't want to keep you too long. I got to go to bed too. I got to get my beauty rest too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I am going to go. We're going to a water park tomorrow. So we got to get up and we're going to go do that tomorrow with the family. So full day ahead of me. So I wanted to thank everybody for being in here tonight. I wanted to thank Shawn and Dawn from Jinx'Em Sents. Go over, check out my link on Jinx'Em Sents. I'm going to throw up a couple banners real quick here. You can check out their website is right here, jinxemwebsite.com, Jinx'Em Nation. The YouTube channel as well. Go follow them over on YouTube. Hit a like, send them a comment, say you came in from Off the Hook Outdoors and you're following them from now on. And then we got the code for Jinx'Em with my Off the Hook Outdoors. You save 10%. Yeah, and that's about it, guys. If you guys have anything to add, I'll let you guys end it, and then we'll see you next time.
No, I
Shawn,
think we're
Dawn?
good, Ted.
You
Thank
good?
you for the
Yeah.
thank you for the shout outs.
Yep.
And yeah, let's like I said, we're excited to see how this food pot does for you, and I'm pretty confident that it's gonna do well.
Yeah,
As long as we
I
get
think
as long as we get rainy and keep her watered, I think we'll
Yep.
be just fine.
Yeah, I think we'll be good. So we'll keep the name that we want. That name, we wanted to definitely do well.
Off the hook.
We wanted to grow off the hook.
That
so.
that food pot's gonna be off the hook.
Yeah, I seen your comments when you were doing that throughout the season with the off the hook stuff, and I didn't. I was like, I don't think that means me. I don't think. And then all of a sudden you put the thing on it. That was pretty cool. So I appreciate it. Like I said, guys, we're gonna be doing some more lives throughout the season here, especially hunting season. I think we were talking maybe, and we haven't really talked about it because everybody's been so busy, but we may be coming up with something. You want to do something from like state to state, get a few people maybe in your pro staff up on live streams and giving some deer reports and stuff throughout the season, maybe, or something like that. Maybe we're gonna do?
Possibly, yeah. We talked about something like that. So yeah, definitely.
So
Something
that'll be
we-
fun
some-
as well. So.
Yeah, we can look into for sure.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being such a great company and such great people. I appreciate and I'm honored to be a part of the team. So thank you very much.
Thank
Very
you, Ted.
happy to
We're
have
very we're very happy to have you on board. So
All right.
very cool.
All right,
So,
guys. Everybody in the chat, you have a great night. Thank you. And like I always say, take a kid fishing or hunting. We like to preserve our sport and pass it on to future generations. And we will see ya.
see ya.
Right.